Welcome back. This video is geared more towards the mystery and thriller genres as opposed to the fantasy genre like the previous one. So the topic this time is ciphers, or rather one cipher in particular, the Caesar cipher. So the Caesar cipher is one of the simplest ciphers out there. It's easy to encrypt and decrypt, and it's also very easy to break. It is also pretty easy to automate. It is also a great starting point to start on ciphers basically. So, what is a Caesar cipher? So, it's usually credited to Caesar, as in Julius Caesar, the guy on the screen right now, and the drawing reference is asterisk. So, moving on. So, the standard form of Caesar cipher uses root 3. Basically, that means every letter is shifted by 3. That is a standard form. That's not necessarily how all Caesar ciphers work. We will get to that. But the standard form is usually rot 3. So to explain this better, we can look at an example. So let's take a simple sentence. Hello, how are you? You can see it on the screen right now. So how do you convert this? Well, you take it letter by letter. So let's take the first letter, H. And then we are going to shift it by 3 letters. So basically, H, you shift it 3 times, I, J, K. So H becomes K. And repeat the process for other letters as well. E becomes F, G, H. So that turns hello, how are you into this. So that is the ciphered form. And as you can see, it doesn't immediately make sense. So you'll have to decrypt it in order to understand what it meant originally. So let's look at the same sentence and see how decryption works. So in order to decrypt, what you have to do is shift the letter back by your original shift, that is 3. So for example, when you have K here, you have K first. So what do? You shift it back 3 letters. So K becomes J, I, H. And then from that point on, just repeat it for the other letters. For H, then the double O, and so on, in order to get your original message back. So just for you to try, this is a message encrypted in Caesar cipher. See if you can find what the original message is. So Caesar cipher isn't necessarily limited to row 3 as I mentioned earlier. You can just use any shift you like. That particular number that you choose will be your key. So for example, if you shift it by 5, then H becomes I, J, K, L, M. So H will turn into M, and so on. So it's easier to do this mathematically. So maths ahead. So you might want to pay attention to this if you plan to code it, or if you want to go with a generic shift. So let's get on with it. First, in order to apply the formula, you have to convert every letter to a corresponding number. So you can see an example on screen. So that is one way. You can use alternative methods, so that won't be a straightforward Caesar cipher then, but this is the standard alphabet. A is 0 and so on up to Z equals 25. Next, you apply the formula x plus k modulus 26. Here x is the number corresponding to the letter you want to convert. K is your shift or your key. So if you're shifting by 3, then k will be 3. And then mod is the modulus operator. So basically what it means is you get your number and you find the remainder when you divide it by 26. So for example, if you get a number like 28, then mod 26 will be 2. Say you get the number 2, then what you have to do is refer back to your original table, mapping letters to numbers, and then find the letter that corresponds to your number. So if number is 2, then you can convert it back to a letter. The corresponding letter will be C. So that is basically the method. You have to repeat that for the entire message. So every single letter in your message. For decryption, apply that in reverse. For example, if your letter is B, convert to a number, that will become 1. And then if your shift is say 3, then 1 minus 3 will give you minus 2. Minus 2 mod 26 will be 24. So find 24 on your original table and you see that it corresponds to Y. So your letter B maps to Y in decryption. So again, for decryption as well, just repeat it for the entire message. So I have created the C++ program for this, and I could also possibly provide the Java code. I will link the C++ code in the description, and maybe I'll add the Java code to it later. So that is it for this video. So how to crack the cipher if you don't know the key will be for another time. So that is it. See you next time.